Music Breakfast. It is always nice to welcome you into the studio, Bev Wright from Property Brokers. Hey, look, the Toot for Tucker. What was the response last week or so?
Well, could I just say the word was fantastic? I want to start with that. It was a fantastic response right across the district. We were a bit nervous because we didn't supply bags this year. And so it was a wee bit hard to gauge on the ground in some cases. However, Kaipoi was outstanding. Immediately you could see they just doubled what they did last year. So the generosity of spirit there was very, very to the front. But everyone did. And when we unpacked the food into the food banks, and that's why I usually leave it a few days, I go and ask those people, how did they feel it stood up to last year or the year before? They are absolutely thrilled. They said it is as good as last year, if not better. The standards of, not that we ever measured that, we're always grateful for everything we get in Toot for Tucker, but there has been a general lift in what people gave. So there was some really nice little Christmassy treats in there for people, and there was also a number of small gifts for children that they'd popped in as well. Some people had gone to a lot of effort, and so everything was very well received.
So the community stood up all around Waimakariri, parts of the Hiranui as well. How did Amberley go? Because it was the first time for Amberley Toot for Tucker this year, wasn't it?
It was indeed, and it was exciting. So we had our moments of getting people away, and they didn't quite know what to do. And as we started here in Rangiora, so that was quite exciting to watch. And I could sort of know what was going to happen, but they didn't. And so it was, for me, it was like watching your child open a present. And so that was for me what it was like for them. So as the bags started coming in and the trucks were being unloaded, the organisers up there were going, oh, there's more. I said, oh, yes, there's more. And there'll be more. Look, they went to the next day to put the food into the food banks up in Waikari and some of those outlying places as well. And when they got there, the cupboards were pretty bare.
North Canterbury
absolutely couldn't believe how generous these people were and replenished their stocks.
North Cantabrians are a very, very generous part of the country, and it's always nice to know. It's a strange way of looking at it, but it's sort of rewarding to know that those that do need it can actually go to the food bank and use that because it's needed.
Right. Look, Kerry, that's my message this morning. None of us plan to have COVID, for instance, and so forth. So there's a lot of people out there who absolutely never dreamed of losing their jobs. In the airline industry, travel and all those, I'll just use that as an example. But now they're the people who perhaps after paying mortgages and car expenses and trying to keep themselves together have to give up on food. And so if you've got a neighbour, a friend that lost their job, please make some contact with them. Please help them to go with them, or ring a food bank and say, look, I know that Joe Smith down the road struggling, or their family's a bit under pressure. A food parcel could arrive. What a difference Christmas would make for Christmas for them.
You do a great job, Bev. You're the main organiser and you're the coordinator of it all. Next year?
Oh, absolutely. And just before I go, Kira, I know you're on time, but I want to thank the volunteers. I've got coordinators in the area in Kaipoi, Oxford, Pegasus, Woodend, and up in Amberley. And I want to give a special shout out to John Wright, my husband, who puts all of those signs up. He does have a little bit of help in some places, Neville and Kaipoi. And this year, my grandson, Quinton Hood, went out with him and went out at 2 o'clock in the morning quite willingly and put up all the slashes and things like that. So it's growing. And the children from the schools now, year 8s, who want to get involved
and be the runners.
That's quite competitive now. It's quite the deal to be a part of. So, Kerry, thank you for allowing us to come and share this news with you. Thank you to North Canterbury for their very generous donations, and thank you to the community for getting in behind it again. And yes, we'll be back.
Doing it again next year because it is needed. Bev Wright, thank you so much. It is Compass FM.